Hey guys, Outdoor Prepper, welcome back to the channel. I just want to talk a little bit about some monthly maintenance that we should be doing here on our generators. And I've got, the Predator 5000 inverter, which I gotta be honest, I really like this generator so far. I have not had an opportunity to use it for an extended amount of time. We have not had any outages yet, but it's a great unit so far. Really quiet. Oil change is a little bit of a disaster. Check out the video for that. But I did buy a fluid removal tool, kind of like a siphon, which I'm going to try for the next oil change. I'm going to try to siphon everything out and then drop the drain plug just to make sure I get everything. But monthly maintenance, let's talk about that for a minute. A lot of people, what they do is they run the generator, they change the oil, they drain the fuel, and they put it away for the summer or for whenever they need it next. And they kind of forget about it. But I don't think that is the right approach. I really believe that what you should be doing is starting it monthly to catch a problem before it starts. Make sure that the battery is charged. Make sure that it's producing power. Make sure that there's no, wires that have been chewed by mice or problems with the propane or the carburetor is gummed up. So really what you should be doing is hooking it up to propane or gasoline at least once a month and running it, testing everything out, getting that onboard battery charged, and just getting the fluid cycled so you don't have gaskets drying out, hoses drying out. What I have here is a space heater because you should be putting a load on it. Now you don't have to with a small gasoline engine. This is more important with a larger diesel engine, but with a small gasoline engine, I still recommend putting a load to test out the electronics, make sure that it's producing power. With the space heater here, what we can do is we can put it on fan for a low power draw. We can put it on low for about 700 watts, and we can put it on high to get about 1500 watts. So what I like to do, once a month, take the generator out, check the oil, make sure the oil is okay, make sure it's still clean, hook it up to propane or gasoline, your fuel of choice. I prefer and recommend propane because you have less of a chance of gumming up the carburetor. And start it up, make sure that onboard battery works, and while it's running, put a load on it, put the space heater on it, let it run for 20 minutes. That'll cycle the fluids, get the oil moving, get everything lubricated, and charge that onboard battery so when you do need it, it works. So let's get this on the tripod and let's give it its monthly test. All right, so I've got the camera set up on the tripod here, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to come over and I'm going to hook this up to the propane tank, and we're going to get some fuel flowing. We're going to make sure that the onboard battery is working. We're going to make sure that nothing has been chewed in the garage by the mice and maybe it short-circuited a cable, maybe it won't start, who knows. So the only way we're going to know this is by doing our monthly test. And I just checked the oil. The oil is still good, still in the proper spot. So fuel is hooked up. Propane is on. We're going to turn on the onboard battery. Now, the knob is already set to propane, and if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that when you start on propane, you do have to start it more than once because you've got to purge the air out of the line. I've noticed a couple of times on this unit that when it goes to start, it almost sounds like the starter, the Bendix drive, is missing the ring gear on the flywheel. I don't know if that's a common issue with some of these Harbor Freight units. It's never not started, but I have noticed that. So let's see what it sounds like right now. We have to press this twice to start it. And again, I anticipate that it's going to take 2 attempts. It definitely engaged properly this time. Let's try it a second time. There we go, started right up. No issues at all. And that's what I want to see. I want to see once a month, does this start right up? Do I have issues? Is there a problem? I want to catch the problem before it becomes a major one. And by doing basic once a month maintenance to the generator, maintenance, I use that term loosely, do an oil change if you need to, but if you don't need an oil change, just start it up. Check the oil, start it up, get some fuel flowing, get the oil flowing around, and make sure everything's working. So I zoomed in here on the gauge just so we can kind of take a look at the output. So right now this is showing 125 V for volts, and I'm going to plug the space heater in, and we're going to see with a load on the unit, because you should run it with a load. You should test that out. You should get everything moving and ensure it's producing power. Because what if you don't do that and a storm comes, you've got a blackout, and it doesn't work because a mouse chewed something in your garage. So that's on A for amps, V for volts. And this is output right now. So right now we're not putting anything out because we're not using anything. I should say we're not drawing anything. So I just put that space heater on. And let's see. We're pulling about 940, 935. It fluctuates a little bit. Watts. So that's good. I like that. I want to be pulling some power here. Let's go down to just fan only. I think is pulling almost no wattage. So we're not really picking anything up. Going back to low on the space heater. 940, 937, give or take watts. That's good. Let's hop it up a notch to high and let's see where we're at. Let's see, we heard that generator idle up a little bit. Now we're pulling about 14, almost 1,500 watts of power. And that's what I want to see. I want to keep that sustained for a little while. Again, I'm testing this out. What if power has gone out? I haven't tested this in a year. I go outside to start it, the battery's dead. I can't get it to start. Maybe I want to use the remote start and the electric start. That's the reason why you want to test this once a month. Put a reminder in your phone. You can set a recurring reminder, the first Saturday of the month at 10 a.m. You want to remind yourself to go outside, start the generator. If you have a dual fuel unit like this Predator, I really recommend that you start it on propane. Reason being, you don't have to worry about draining the tank, letting it run until it's empty. With the propane, it's very easy. What you do is you basically turn it on propane, you run it, and when you're done, you just turn the tank off, and that will bleed the propane out of the line really quick, and then it'll get you, squared away for next time. So I'm going to drop this back down to medium. And again, we're pulling about 930 watts right now. And let's let this run for about 15 minutes. We'll come touch base again in 15 minutes. All right, we're back here. It's been running for about 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes, so I just put the load off it now. And I'm just letting it cool down a little bit while it's still idling. And I should say that this is high idle. I have not put on the eco mode, so we are at high idle. And, like I said, I hope you found this video helpful. This is really all you need to do on a monthly basis. Take the unit out, start it up, put a load on it, check the oil, make sure the battery is working, make sure the auto start's working, make sure there's no leaks, make sure you're producing power. Do this, it takes you 20 minutes, and you're going to be so far ahead of the game when there's a storm or a hurricane or an ice storm, power outage, and you actually need to use this. Once again, really recommend that you do use propane if it's available to you. That way you don't have to worry about the carburetor getting clogged up, draining fuel. And when we go to shut it off, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn the tank off. Then the unit's going to turn off. I'm just going to turn the power button off so I don't have any parasitic drain on the battery. I'm going to let it cool down. I'm going to check the oil again and just put it away. And that's going to be it. So if you found this video helpful, do me a favor, like and subscribe. It helps the channel. And stay tuned. When there is a blackout, we're going to be using this. Again, to turn it off, we can use the selector knob and go to off or storage. That you would want to use if you're running on gasoline, because when you go to off or storage on gasoline, it's going to let the engine continue to run, and it's just going to turn the fuel off. On propane, it's easier, just turn the tank off, just like that, and it just purged out all that propane in the line. So that's it. We are good to go, guys. Like I said, I'm going to come over here, turn the switch off. It kills the button. I'm going to unplug my space heater. Put the little dust cover back on. Unplug the propane. And we're good. And I'll reevaluate this in a month from now. Thanks for watching.